see those moving? Huh? Do you see them moving? Light should light up on that. Yeah.
Go ahead and turn them on? Yeah. Even if you're not using it? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we just decided we thought you could share your pictures instead of pictures you already got. Hope that's okay. We had to go to the library to print it out at town hall.
Are we
We're ready.
ready to go?
Yep.
If it's okay, Joe,
Sure.
let me
Yes,
kind
sir.
of leave here because we've not done this before.
No,
right. And let me explain the process a bit. So the three of you, Boots, Joe, and Chad, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You are what we kind of call it the Unsafe Building Commission or the Unsafe Building Committee. Under the state statute, you all actually refer to as what's called the hearing authority to consider and review, and if you decide to make modifications to orders that are issued with respect to the conditions of properties here in town that ultimately are deemed to be unsafe or in such disrepair that the property owner is ordered to do something to correct it. And Chris Cheever, you've all met Chris this evening. Actually, we've talked on the phone a lot, but the first time we met, Chris is the town's building inspector, zoning administrator, and code enforcement officer for purposes of this unsafe building law or unsafe building ordinance. So he wears several hats, but the hat he's wearing tonight as what's called the enforcement authority under the sort of glossary of terms is as the code enforcement officer for the unsafe building ordinance. And Chris has a lot of experience having been a building inspector for, I don't know, 100 years or something like that. In Franklin, yeah?
Yep.
And has done some of this work too, so we're really fortunate to have someone who has the credentials and the experience to guide us through this. And he has written an order that I think I emailed to you two, but Chad, I didn't have your email when I sent it out.
I sent him a copy.
Okay. So what we have tonight is an order that has been issued by Chris on property at 320 East State Road 135, which if we crook our neck a little bit, we can see it out the window here, right? And I think you all know what property that is. And I think we have representatives here tonight on behalf of the property, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you all been here before. You look familiar, right? So Chris has issued this order, and the order is kind of a layered document where Chris, based on his inspections of the property, has made certain findings about its condition. He has concluded that the condition of the property, based on those findings, violates our unsafe building ordinance. And based on those violations, he has issued an order requiring that the property owner take certain actions to bring the property into compliance. And so if we look at the order that Chris issued dated September 8th of this year, he has found that the back north wall of the building is missing, the east wall of the building was recently blown down, the building is open and exposed to the elements that will subject it to additional damage. The building is open and easily accessible to birds, animals, and to people. The roof structure and support members of the building are not adequately supported. The partial or complete collapse of the roof and the remaining walls of the building is likely, and the debris and trash is piled up and scattered around the property. That is a report of his observations, and he is finding that the building's in a vacant, and these findings are you find in the unsafe building law, in state statute, and in our ordinance. But Chris is finding that the building is vacant and blighted and not maintained in a manner that would allow it to be inhabited or used in a manner that would be compliant with the statutes and ordinances that apply to it. It's in an impaired structural condition, making it unsafe. it's dangerous to person and property because of its condition and non-compliance with the applicable statutes and ordinances. And when we mean those ordinances, we're referring to building codes, generally referring to building codes. Because of dilapidation, deterioration, decay, it's likely to completely collapse. It's manifestly unsafe for the purpose for which it's being used and has walls or other structural forces that are materially less resistant to wind than is required in the case of new construction. And Chris is ordering that the property owner, no later than 30 days from the receipt of this order, secure all permits that are needed from the town in order to completely demolish the building. To no later than 30 days, deliver to him an executed contract between the owner and a contractor to demolish the building, and no later than 60 days from the date of receipt of the order, have the property, the building completely demolished, the debris cleared away, and the property graded level. So that is the order that has been issued, been delivered to the property owner. That's what Chris has ordered them to do, and they're required to do that. Okay? But when we enter orders as a government relating to people's property interests, they're entitled to some due process. We all know about that, right? And the process that the property owner is due in the context of an unsafe building order is this hearing process. So when an order is issued that requires that a property be partially or completely demolished, the town has to hold a hearing. This committee has to hold a hearing to allow the property owner an opportunity to kind of plead their case, to ask for relief from the order, if that's what they want to do, right? And they'll have an opportunity to do that. And at the end of this proceeding, you'll hear from Chris, you'll hear from the property owner. You have within your discretion the discretion to just stay with the order that Chris has already issued. If you choose to say, we've heard it, we're fine, we're sticking with what our enforcement authorities already issued, you're bound to do what he's already told you to do. You can modify that order however you choose to. You could give more time, less time. You could require that additional work be done or less work be done. And you could rescind the order. You could say, we don't like this at all. We disagree that we're rescinding it, we're taking it away, you're free to go. That's that's the range of options you have available after hearing the case, right? You do have authority under the statute if you decide that there has been a willful non-compliance with the order on the property owner's part. You can impose a monetary fine of up to $5,000. You could impose a fine and agree to waive it if the property owner does certain things that you think you need for them to do, or you could simply you have that authority, but you're not required to impose a fine, certainly, but you can. That's kind of all the tools you have in your box, right? And so I think the way this ought to proceed is we ought to hear from Chris, and I know you know what the order says, I just sort of read it to you, but let him share with you his observations, let him elaborate on what he sees, what he thinks makes sense, support the order and why he thinks that's appropriate, and then give the property owner an opportunity to respond to that. And then you can ask questions, deliberate among yourselves, ultimately get to a point where you may decide what it is you want to do, if anything, with regard to the order that's already issued. Does that all make sense?
It does.
It's all new, but that's how it works, okay? So I would say at this point, we also need for the three of you to kind of designate one of you to preside over the meeting, kind of the point person. I guess we could call them the chairman of this commission, but we need someone to kind of take the lead as a procedural matter for the hearing, right? So figure out who that's going to be before we go any further.
Well, I'll nominate Joe.
I'm good with Joe.
Okay, so Joe, it's Joe. So then I think then we ought to hear from Chris, right? Joe, does that make sense?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay. My name's Chris Sheever. I'm the building official, inspector, Unsafe Building Authority, as Lee has already indicated, several hats. But yeah, I went out and inspected your place out there, and I know that at one point in time, not too long ago, part of the wall blew. I think it was the wind blew it over. So it seems, dangerous. And so I'm just going to kind of repeat, honestly, what Lee just said, because these are the issues. It's vacant, it's blighted, it's not in a manner that allows human habitation, use under the requirements of the statutes and the ordinances. It's impaired, it's unsafe to person and maybe other people's properties. It's dangerous because of this condition it's in. It's dilapidated, it's liable to collapse, and it's unsafe for the community to continue to have it in the condition it's in. So what my order is you need to demolish the building and completely remove everything. Make sure you disconnect any utility services that may be still there. I don't know if there are any or not. But yeah, in my opinion, the building needs to go and clean it up and disconnect all the services. I think that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions?
Well, I do. Are you talking about up to the extent where the existing roof building still is? Are you talking about tearing it down?
Well, that's a good question. So I guess I would say that we need to demolish up to there, assuming we get a engineer's report that says that that's not going to compromise the rest of the building. Unless you're wanting to just, I guess that's the question. Is this something, or you want to just comply and demolish this building, and the other building that's attached to? Or you want to try to save the other building?
Well, Joe hit the point. Yeah, that's the exact question my first was going to ask was, with this, I wasn't sure if it included all the buildings on the structure or just that addition. Currently, we're looking at just demoing that existing structure.
Yeah, and I'm going to defer to, I want to see an engineer's report that when you do that, that other building's going to be stable still.
Okay.
So that would be part of it.
I'm Tim Allen with Susan Malin Architects, 8759 North Lick Creek Road. We've done some initial plans on this. Originally, we were going to be doing we demoed off the back half of the building, which was severely, the back portion was just twigs holding it up. It was nothing to be there. Then when we got to this point, we found out there was no foundation in the back wall at all, and so. But then when we went to get our building permit, it had been rescinded. So then that's where we got here.
Oh, okay.
And so now other projects took precedent while this was going through the process, and this hadn't been back.
Gotcha.
Now,
Gotcha.
a couple months ago, we did start looking into this project, and we're looking at either going with the same, which has already been approved, or possibly increasing the size of the C-store. Okay? And so demoing it down, taking all the walls down is not an issue. The wall dividing this structure from the other is a structural wall, so we will not be taking that wall down. There's no structural issues once we tear this building down.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Is it acceptable to tear down this structure, this portion of the structure, basically the front wall and the east wall, and take the roof out and leave the concrete for now? And then when we come in to do the big heavy lifting, we'll either take the concrete out then for the floor, or must that come out this time?
Well, I want to see all that removed.
You want the floor out there?
Within whatever the agreed upon time period would be. And the building permit, as I said a minute ago, part of the building permit process would be an engineer's report that says that other building is going to be structurally okay if you're removing that.
Part of the demolition permit or the building permit?
Part of the demolition permit.
Okay. Okay. And you just be on company letterhead?
On the engineer's stamp.
Architectural stamp, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Engineer, architect, either one.
Okay. We can take care of that. It's not a problem.
Yeah. But my personal thoughts are all of it removed. Concrete.
All buildings?
No.
All of this addition?
And
that's what I'm wanting you to specify.
Yeah.
All of this addition?
All of that.
On the north side?
East.
Well, northeast side, whatever. Yeah. East side. Yeah, east.
Seems like it's south and
Yeah.
east to me.
May I help you with this, Chris?
Okay.
All right, so basically the section that there's not 4 walls around it needs to come down.
Sounds good.
No matter what. But it does look in the photos that structure, as far as under the roofing, does connect into the other structure that you're not wanting to take down
Correct.
immediately. Which is where we're still concerned that if you take it down, it'll then make that part structurally unsafe, and then we're still coming back into this conversation again. So instead, we want to make sure that that engineering or architectural stamp is saying that that building is safe once you take down the concerning section. And if you cannot provide something saying that that building is safe to stand, then it will need to come down at the same time as the one that does not have 4 walls.
If we do structural modifications, we'll need additional time to get the demolition done.
I think
In
you
order
would
to
have,
say-
I think you would have to make a suggestion on what things you're offering
Okay.
to be able to remotely consider extending any time frames, because right now, we have to have something to go on. Right now, we could say, hey, you're going to try to do something, but if you don't come in and say, okay, we're going to add these supports in these locations, and
Correct.
this is the date that we want to do it, then we can actually
We were
offer
planning-
some kind of counter proposal of dates.
I've spoke with the contractor. He believes he can have it down by November 11th. But now, if we're getting into structural issues, now we got to, it's going to add to it, of course. We got to do the engineering behind it in order to figure out what's going to take to get that done. Okay? So, would you want us to come back to your next meeting?
Well, we meet when there's a need to meet.
Okay.
There aren't regular meetings.
Okay.
So,
So, how would you like to move forward from this point? Because we're ready to tear that portion of the building down.
A signed contract.
Yeah, you
Let me
sign
see if I got
contract
it.
with your contractor and, I
total.
guess apply for a demolition permit with the required paperwork is about all that would take.
And submit a plan and a timeline.
If I remember, I believe there's a control joint right there between them 2 buildings.
There
I
is.
don't believe it's too thin.
Yeah,
If my memory right.
No, it's right here's what I'm concerned about. We're
Yeah,
getting
that roof.
into the wall.
Yeah,
Is it roof
That's what I'm
elevated?
concerned about is
Yeah.
structural stability there.
That wall between the 2 buildings is a structural wall, and so we should be able to tie down and carry that one.
Yeah, I'm
down.
deferring
Yeah.
to an engineer.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, I'm not making the call.
Okay. No, we can take care of that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say that, you know, if you have a contract with a demolition contractor, you can produce that and, you know, showing you're moving towards the process of getting things done, at least in my opinion.
well, you know, the order, as you have written it, as it stands, you've got 30 days to secure all requisite permits from the town to completely demolish the building and remove it from the property. You got 30 days to deliver a fully executed contract for that work to be done. Right? So within the first 30 days, you pull a permit and have a contract to do the work, and then you got a total of 60 days, 30 more days to complete that.
Okay.
It sounds to me like, and I don't want to say anything for everybody in right, but it sounds to me like everybody's okay with that.
Yes.
And the added condition is you will only be required to tear down that area that you all understand how to describe better than me. But it's the area that is not covered by a roof now.
Correct.
Is that a way to say
Well,
it?
there is a roof over part of it.
Okay. It's the
So-
area that you all understand is coming down.
Yes, that one addition.
And the other condition is it will be limited only to that area if you can provide to Chris some evidence satisfactory to him that the demolition of the part we're talking about will not impair the structural integrity of what you intend to leave there, right? And we can say it's an architectural stamp, it's an engineer's report, it's what, I guess I'm not a board member, but I would be comfortable saying whatever satisfies Chris is fine with the board,
Okay.
right? Because he knows. And if, you know, if you walk in there with something on the back of the placemat and he says it's fine, I guess it would be fine with the board. If he wants a seal and a stamp, and then you're going to have to make him happy,
That's not a problem.
right? Now, Chris, what about that?
That sounds completely,
The only thing I want to make sure, we're not going to have time to get state approval on anything. You know what I'm saying? But we can meet whatever you're needing on that. That's not a problem.
But all we're talking about is demolition. You don't need state approval to demolish.
When it comes to structural, it does end up going, anything structure, if you're changing egress of plumbing, electrical, structural, that all goes to state.
Even on the
If
demolition side?
what he's saying is if he has to change the structure of the other building to
Right.
stabilize it, then that does.
Oh, I
On
get it.
any renovation or anytime you do
Well,
anything like that,
So we need to get the engineer on board
rotten
sooner than
we're,
later.
we're
Yeah,
it,
I'm
we're
just
it.
sitting there.
So let me say this too, and
You've got somebody.
My sister, she's the architect. I'm a civil engineer, wannabe.
And I'm not, but so, you know, and I guess this sounds like it's coming together pretty well, and so I don't.
We're on the same page. I think we're all in agreement.
But Chris, as the enforcement authority, has the discretion to amend these time frames.
We will try
On
to
his
meet,
own.
we want to meet your time frame.
Well, I get it,
Okay.
but if he wants to, in other words, what I want to make clear to the board is, if we get to a point tonight where the board, it sounds like what we're headed for is the only amendment to the order that Chris has written is, it will only apply to that section of the structure that everybody understands has to go and.
Correct.
And on the outside of the structural wall we're talking about, right? And so, if you say we're going to get all that done in 60 days, and we're going to meet the 30-day deadline, and you get to where it's the 62nd day, if Chris says to you, I'm okay if it takes till the end of the week, he can do that without the board having to approve it. He has that.
As long as you see progress, I'm sure you'll be.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying
You
I'm
want
sure
it
about
done. I
anything.
know you want it done. So
It's him, not me.
Yes.
It sounds like your time frames are going to fit with when,
We
what
want,
what the order's
we
already
don't want
written.
to have a problem.
But back to, rehash, you said something about the concrete.
The slab.
Yeah, yeah,
If we could leave the slab for now.
no.
Okay. What do you want the site to look like when we're done?
Level, graded,
Okay.
so if you
The
don't,
only reason I'm saying
if this other project never happens, which apparently this has been, from what I've been told, has been going on for a long
Yeah.
time. So I would like to see it graded, leveled, stone.
Okay.
I mean, you already have a pad there.
Is dirt okay with grass seed?
Dirt, and I'm okay with dirt and grass seed if the board's okay. But, you know, make it like that building was never there,
Okay.
or that part of the building.
Okay.
Do you already have a contractor?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same company that tore it down
Okay.
thus far. I spoke to him today. He was going to try to have a contract to me today, but
So
hadn't gotten it.
you're pretty well ready to go, just gotta,
Yes. Either A, we build back like what's already approved, or enlarge the structure to further back. Since we can't do the apartments on that zoning,
right.
we can extend the building and make it larger. So,
Again, I'm not trying to get in front of you guys and not let you do what the board's supposed to do, but it sounds to me like the property owner's kind of agreeing to abide by the order that Chris has already written.
yeah.
Yep.
And the only thing I see changing in that is you're going to work out, Chris is saying now, it doesn't have to be the entire structure.
Okay.
It can be that part of the structure that has already fallen and that marries up to this structural wall that we're concerned about. And that so long as that structural wall is not going to be affected, or if it is affected, so long as it's shored up in a way that meets his approval,
Yes.
you won't be required to remove that structure.
Okay.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Correct, and it's
Exactly.
removed all the way down to grade, has to remove the pad.
Grade and either, what, like,
Gravel,
Take out
three
gravel
stone
or
and
grass.
leveled, or
He said-
seeded
Chris seemed to agree with dirt and seeding.
I mean, I'm
Whichever
personally
way they want to
okay.
go, whichever way.
I'm personally okay
I'm
with
going to
that.
assume with the price of
I
stone,
mean, you can defer.
Yeah.
They
What's
can
with
that?
the
look
price
at
of
that.
stone, it's
Yeah.
pretty pricey.
Well, I just didn't know if you could go ahead and prep it for your plan.
Well, if we do that, we'll be too high, but
Okay.
it's, yes.
So because you're saying you're still planning on doing something there.
Certainly,
It's the
yes.
plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I think-
I think if the board wanted to vote to affirm Chris's order as issued, everybody having the understanding that they're going to do a little bit of a dance between themselves, and Chris has the authority to work through this piece about it not having to be all the structures, and with the understanding that you're going to remove the concrete, and you're going to grade it level, and either come back with some kind of aggregate or dirt proceed, all in a manner that meets Chris's approval, then I think all we need is for you all to vote to affirm the order as issued, and leave it at that.
And I'll make a
And
What do
motion
you think
to
about that?
And then Chris will only have to come back to us if they fall out of compliance.
Yeah,
Well, if Chris issues another order that requires something more, they will have the right to come back to you and ask you to give them some relief from the order Chris
Okay.
issues. Otherwise, they don't need to come back here. There's
Okay.
nothing more for you to do. They have been afforded the process they are due under the law, and we've satisfied that requirement by doing this tonight. That make sense?
It does.
all right. I'll make a motion to leave the order as it stands, and that they comply, bring it, and remove the structure up to the old structural wall that's there on the existing building, and bring it to grade, gravel or grass, whatever you choose.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.